Dr. Jane.
Hi, Anna.
Well, we just got done having a conversation on focused attention, and we decided that we were going to do the chocolate exercise today.
Yes, this can often be a favorite. And what we're doing by taking a piece of chocolate is we're going to be ingesting it, and the focus of our attention is going to be on the chocolate. And yet it also gives us this opportunity to see how the thought stream in its many forms play into this focused attention or this one-pointed awareness. So I always suggest that you some people don't like chocolate. If you don't like chocolate, pick a Skittles or a raisin or a little piece of something. Make sure it's not too big because we want to have enough room in your mouth that you can kind of move it around. So it might be just a little pinch of the chocolate, or as I say, a Skittles, a raisin, piece of grape, could be a little slice of apple. And then we move ourselves into just kind of centering ourselves. Okay, nice posture, upright posture, moving into focused breathing that we talked about. Just allowing ourselves to tune into the air entering and leaving the nose, feeling the sensations in our nostrils, that space between our nose and our upper lip. Just letting ourselves just be kind of easy in the exercise. And again, it's about taking some morsel of something. What we're going to do is we're going to first have a visual impact, focusing on what it looks like, noticing the morsel, noticing if there's a wrapper to it or how it sits in your hand, texture of it possibly. You can also take a smell of it, see if it smells. And I want you to notice that as you're doing these different components of this exercise, thought process is coming in and it is at play. Okay? You might be delighted with it. You might be saying, hurry up, let's get going with this, I want to have it. There can be a myriad of things that are coming. So the next thing we want to do is put it in your mouth without chewing. And again, focusing on the sensations of the morsel, and also noticing, observing what kind of thoughts are coming in. And then coming back to the morsel, noticing the thoughts. Just allowing it to kind of melt. If you've picked an item that doesn't really have a melt point, you can just take a couple chews of it and let it lie in your mouth so that you can have the sensation of it. Just let it be easy. Noticing the thoughts, whether they be comments or judgments or memories, associations, can be anything. Or it can be what you're going to be doing after we finish the exercise. Whatever comes in, just notice what's happening. Let it melt if it's meltable, or chew if it's chewable. Nice and slowly, very slow. Noticing what happens as you swallow. Noticing what happens as you finish. And observing both your experience with your morsel, with the goodie, but also the thoughts that were generated in response. And tracking those as well, just in an observing kind of a way. So what did you notice, Anna?
Well, I can tell you this. As soon as we got the piece of chocolate out, just my saliva in my mouth, increased by tenfold.
Yes.
It was just that anticipation
Yes.
wanting to get the piece of chocolate in my mouth because it smelled so amazing. And then once it was there, and I don't know, I've done this practice before with you,
Mhm.
and it always takes me back to the same thought of when I was a kid. And those fudgesicles I would get off of the ice cream truck for some reason, that taste, and how I would just savor that chocolatey, fudgy
Yes. Yes.
taste in my mouth. So it always takes me back there for some reason. And yeah, I just, and of course, I try to stay focused on the piece of chocolate that's in my mouth. And it's the sensations, it brings joy, like, to me,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. That happens so often. This is a routine exercise that I very often do in my mindfulness class. And there's always a cross section of things that people comment. Sometimes the similar things come up. Very often it's childhood recollections. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people talk about bunny ears in the Easter basket,
Yeah.
and but also the whole piece of savoring. That to do it slowly is totally different than how we normally eat. Because sometimes our eating habits are kind of like the thought stream. It's
Yes.
just this pattern of you just kind of get going and it's like you're finished,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I very often ask people when I run weight loss clinics, we talk about the 2-bite phenomena. So often people will remember the first bite and the last bite. The
Yes.
first bite is kind of that anticipatory, oh, this is good. And the last bite is kind of a grief, oh, this is over, especially if it's something that we really enjoy.
Yeah.
So there are a myriad of things that can play into this. But it's also so often that what people say is, I really enjoyed it because I took the time to be in the activity. I was with the chocolate, really immersed in my experience of the chocolate. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for in the exercise, to recognize how the autopilot thinking kind of takes us away from that specific experience of being with that morsel.
Yeah. I know it has helped me a lot, this particular practice of just having mindful eating skill,
Yes.
just how much more you enjoy what you're eating.
Well, yes, and the science says that we don't feel the satiation if we're eating too rapidly. So by slowing down, very often we eat, many calories less than we might otherwise.
Yes. Well, and also just noticing the different tastes, of
Yes.
food that you're eating, the different spices, or like with this piece of chocolate, it just tasted so, such richer and more chocolate, the taste is just unbelievable. The sensation of the taste is so much greater than it would normally be if you just put it in your mouth, bit it and swallowed it or whatever, just that appreciation of what you're eating. So I love this practice,
Good.
Dr. Jane.
Well, I'm going to suggest that people try this again and again and again with a bite of this or a bite of that, or maybe even an entire meal, maybe, your breakfast cereal, whatever happens, whatever is available. But the more we do this, the more we really can get into the focused attention, really experiencing very, very differently, whatever the activity is, whatever we happen to be consuming, whatever we happen to be doing.
Yeah. Well,
Great,
thank you,
Anna.
Dr. Yes, thank you for sharing that, Dr. Jane.
Thank you, Anna.